Hi, this is Doug from Dynamic Computing, and welcome to episode 59 of 10-Minute Amiga Retrocast. Now, a few weeks back, I covered telecommuting on your Amiga, and I covered things like email, word processing, spreadsheets, dealing with graphics files, dealing with Dropbox. But one part I could not get to in the interest of time was handling PDF files. Now, PDF files, as you probably know, mean portable document format. They're a format created by Adobe designed to be able to interchange relatively non-editable files amongst different platforms. You need to send somebody a form to fill out by hand, create it as a PDF and email it to them. Now, readers have been available for Windows, Macs, and Linux machines for decades now. So does that mean our poor little Amiga is left out in the cold, unable to open these PDF files? Nay, nay, they work okay. Your Amiga can open these files and deal with them, and even convert them into other formats if need be. Today we'll look at 4 different ways to handle your PDF files, and we'll see which ones are best. They all have their strengths, they all have their weaknesses. Let's take a look. Now, the Adobe PDF format has changed over the decades. Currently, it's up to version 1.7 of the actual file format. Now, venerable software that you might have heard of in the past, like APDF, that can really only handle version 1.2 or 1.3 PDF files before choking. So that causes an issue for some of the files. But other programs we're going to be showing you today can handle the newer formats without a big issue. One of the things we're going to be using today to handle PDF files is an engine called Ghostscript. Now, Ghostscript is available on just about any platform you can find. It's currently up to version 9.3.2, and it's just a way for computers to handle PDF files and to be able to manipulate them and do things with them under the new public license. Now, our Amiga version is only up to version 8.7, which is still pretty darn good. It was last updated by the author, whose name is Whoosh, in 2010. It seems to handle most PDF files pretty well. Now, Ghostscript is really a command line utility, which is fine, perfectly fine, but that's not how we want to deal with it. This is an Amiga, this is a graphics operating system. We want to put a GUI front end on there, graphic user interface. We're going to look at 2 different front ends available. One of them is EasyGS from our pals over at Amiga Kit. Now, this one hasn't been updated in about 10 years, but I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a little bit. The second one is GSGui, and it's version 0.38, and let's see, this is made by Michael Merkel and Matthias Parnedou. Hope I didn't butcher those names too bad, guys, sorry. Now, to be honest, you're going to need an AGA machine to do anything with Ghostscript. There just is no ECS file viewer. Now, I suspect that some of the conversion utilities that are built into Ghostscript probably do work on ECS. So you may be able to import a file, a PDF file, and convert it into a TIFF file or a JPEG or something like that. I'm going to experiment with that and see if it works. Now, an ECS machine, either with a Vampire in it, Amiga 500 or 600 that's vampirized, that's got great retargetable graphics, or like an Amiga 2000 or an Amiga 3000 with an RTG, a retargetable graphics card, works absolutely perfect with Ghostscript. It's just ECS it doesn't work with. So let's jump into the Ghostscript install. The website to download the latest version is whoosh777.com, and it is interesting and colorful. I have nothing but respect for Whoosh for the hard work he put into the project, but this website, ugh. So, let's scroll down here into some of the install sections. Here we go. There we go. How to install it. Now tell me, can you read any of that on that background? It is almost unreadable going through here because of the backgrounds that he uses. I mean, I know he's going whoosh, the whole jet plane thing, but you know, luckily he does have a text-only version of the website that is substantially more readable, where you can turn off those atrocious background images. As you can see, as we go through here, it still doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's very, well, let's say it's all over the place is what it is. The installation routines jump back and forth. Information just seems to be in random order on here. Now, I do find this quite often, where people who do a lot of coding think very different than mere mortals and have a hard time clearly communicating things. So what appears as logical and informational set of instructions to them is nothing but a hodgepodge of nearly useless information to 85% of the population. So let me explain it in English. Now let's go to download our files. Here we are in iBrowse. And let's take a peek. We're going to jump to the download sections. We go to installations, downloads. Now you're going to see there's a couple of files. gs870core.lha, download that. gsfonts.lha, gs870ixemul.lha, and iconscripts.lha. Those are the ones you want. This one that says no IXEMUL, that's really for MorphOS. We don't need that one, so just those four. Go ahead and download those either on your Amiga or on your PC and bring them over to the Amiga. Now let's make things easy, and we're going to create a folder right on the Amiga called PDF. We're going to put that in our work drive here, PDF. Now we're going to take our lovely little LHA files that we've just downloaded, and we're going to copy them to that folder. So in this situation, I downloaded them to my 10 mark and my 10 mark EP59 CD downloads. I've got all of the files right here in my downloads folder. Now I've downloaded everything we're going to talk about. I'm just going to copy it all over to my new folder I created. So copy.lha, and of course this is just saying grab all the LHA files in this one folder, and we're going to copy them to work:PDF. And it copies all the files right over. Now that that's done, let's go to our PDF folder that we've created. We're going to do this from the command line. It is absolutely possible to do this from Workbench with a utility like a unarchiver that comes with Gulliver's Best Workbench program. But let's go ahead and just do it from the command line. We're going to go to Work, and we're going to go to PDF. Now let's do a directory. We see our important files that we've downloaded here. GS870 core and all the other ones. We're going to decompress them right here in this folder. So the command line is LHA, and then E for extract, GS870 core.lha. And because I didn't give it a path to decompress to, it's going to do it in the folder that I'm currently in, which is exactly what I want. Now let's do this for our other files. We're going to look at the names again. Just look at the LHA files. Then we're going to decompress LHA GS870 IXEMUL.LHA. Look at that. I forgot to put the E in there. I do that all the time. Next file is going to be GS Fonts. LHA GS Fonts.LHA. Those are all of our Adobe Acrobat fonts and similar ones that are going to be used for the program. And lastly, a little simple one, LHAE icon scripts.lha. Perfect. Now we've downloaded and we've decompressed all of the Ghostscript files in one folder called PDF. So if we look in this folder now, we're going to see There's I created a doc folder and examples, a lib, man, resource, bin, fonts, icon scripts. It's created all the directories that I need to have created for Ghostscript to work. Now the next thing we need to do is make some manual assigns in our user startup folder. Now I'm a big fan of the program Reddit that comes again with Gulliver's Best Workbench program. So let's go ahead and get Reddit open. You can use any text editing utility you want to edit your user startup file. You can even use the built-in one called Ed that I went over a couple of months ago in one of my tutorials. What you want to do is you want to browse to the S folder of your Workbench disk. That's where all your batch files hide. We're going to go into User Startup. Click OK here. Now you'll see I've already got these created, but we're going to modify them. What you want to do is create a section in User Startup, little semicolon, begin Ghostscript. This is just giving us a little bit of information about what's coming next. We're going to assign GS870. Now I've moved to this, and you're going to tell it what folder to assign it to, and that's whatever folder you've decompressed your files to. So assign GS870 to work:PDF. Assign GS to the GS870 folder. Basically, you're just saying the word GS : and the word GS870 : mean exactly the same thing. Assign Ghostscript, which is the full word Ghostscript, to that same directory. Assign GS fonts : GS870 : fonts. That's where all of our fonts are. And lastly, assign GS cache to the T : folder, which is usually in your RAM drive. That's it for the assigns. Now we do end Ghostscript here with a little semicolon in front of it, just to tell us that we've ended that. Now we're going to save this and reboot the machine so your changes take effect. Now that we've rebooted, we're all set to go, and Ghostscript is installed and ready to go. So what was a 400-page long website, we've now narrowed down to about 3 or 4 minutes of installation. Should be going just fine now. Now, as I mentioned, we're not going to be using the command line when we use Ghostscript, although you absolutely can, and there are instructions online for doing that. If you do use the command line for Ghostscript, you need to launch a shell, and you need to do this stack 200,000. And what that does is that creates a little buffer for this particular shell that's open that Ghostscript is going to need. Now, with the utilities we're going to be using in a few minutes, those take care of the stack for us. This is only if you are manually doing everything with the command line. Now, onto our GUI interfaces for Ghostscript. Now, I'm going to highlight 2 of them today, EasyGS from Amiga Kit and the aforementioned GS GUI. Now, we're going to start with EasyGS, and I'm going to put the link for that right here at the bottom of your screen, because that is a direct download from Amiga Kit. Once we download it, and I've already downloaded the file and I've put it into our work:PDF folder. Let's take a look. dir.lha. There it is, easygs.lha. We're going to decompress that, LHA, easygs.lha. And look at that, it comes with just a couple of little files. Let's take a look at what it comes with here. We're going to go to our work folder, we're going to go to our PDF folder, and looky, we're going to snapshot that. We've got EasyGS right here. It doesn't get any easier than this. Now, before we launch the software, we need to tell EasyGS where Ghostscript is located. We're going to do that by single-clicking EasyGS, going to the icons menu, going to information, and you see GS path equals sys utilities Ghostscript GS. Nope, that's not where we put it, is it? This is actually GS870 bin/gs. What this is saying is, okay, where is my GS file, my Ghostscript file? It is under my work, which we've gotten assigned for. Let's show all files. It is in my bin folder, which is here. And inside of there is a little file called GS, which is the Ghostscript file. That's where I'm telling it to point to, right here. Now, I'm also going to make a bigger stack. I've got the memory for it, so I'm going to use 0.5 megabyte for the stack size. Now this one, file path equals PDF. What that means is that they've got a PDF assign that it's assuming that you have, that you save your PDF files in. Now we've created no PDF assign, but I happen to have an assign called docs. So I'm just going to change that. Now when I would go to open a PDF file, it's automatically going to look in my docs assign. We're going to save this, and we're going to go in and we're going to launch the program. Easy GS. Look how simple that is. Let's get rid of a few of these. Make it so we can see that. Simple little thing, copyright 2009, AmigaKit.com. Now, I have been chatting with Matthew from AmigaKit over the past week, and he is willing and interested in updating the software and making it more powerful and useful. So I'd love to hear your ideas in the comments below, and I'll pass them on to Matthew about what he can do to improve it. And just be aware he's working with the limitations of Ghostscript, so requests to make the PDF open in 0.5 seconds just won't work. Let's go ahead and take a look and see what it can do. We have a standard file requester here. I put my PDF sample files in my episode 59 directory files. Let's look at this computer magazine cover. This is a cover of Compute's Gazette that was in PDF format. Now we click on View. Now I sped this up dramatically. That was about a 50-second load, and that is on a Amiga 4000 with 68060 running at 80 megahertz, a fast SCSI drive, and 128 megabytes of RAM. This is not going to break any speed records, but it's absolutely usable. You see, when it first opens, it comes with this little help window that gives you some hints about what you can use on here. So type 0 to resize that to fit the window, and you can blur and sharpen things, although I can't get that to work very well. We're going to go ahead and do what it says and press return to leave there. And we're going to look at our file. Look at that, nice little PDF file converted and viewable right on your Amiga. And you're able to take a look at it. We can press 0 and it should resize it to fit the page. Yep, there it is. You can also hit the space bar and it comes up with this hint menu, this help menu that gives you some options of what you can do. Here's some useful ones. Half the zoom, double the zoom, H and D. Let's try that. We're going to hit H. Now it's tiny. D brings it right up. D again. Look at that, brings it right up. And then we can mouse around and manipulate it, look at things. Kind of cool. So that's a single page document as a PDF. Worked out just fine. What about multi-page? This is where things get downright strange. Next one we're going to open up are, since it's tax season in the United States, let's open up tax forms. That's exciting. Here's a 1099 form. Now, down here, you see where it says first page and last page. We're going to open up from page 3 to page 5. This is an 8-page document. I only want to open up a couple of pages. We're going to click View, and it's going to work its magic. Now, since this was just a smaller kind of a text type file and not a big color graphics file. This only took about 28 to 30 seconds to open up. And this is great. We can see our 1099 form here. We could print it out if we wanted to, but there's supposed to be a couple pages of this, pages 3, 4, and 5. All we can see is page 1. Where's page 2 and page 3? All right. Now here's the weird thing about Ghostscript. You have to close down that page after you're done looking at it, then it will go and open up the next page. And you can see now the page 2 is opened up. But what if I want to go back to page 1? Well, then you close down the program, you relaunch it and reopen it, and look at the first page again. As far as I have been able to tell, there's no way to jump back and forth between pages. This is not a limitation of the EasyGS program from Amiga Kit. This is a limitation of Ghostscript. Now when you get in here, you can hit the space bar anytime, like I said, to look at the options here. And return to get out. So as you can see, EasyGS from Amiga Kit is a little simple, nice way to be able to view PDF documents. It absolutely works. But now let's take a look at the other options like GSGui. GSGui you're going to find on AmiNet. Just type in GSGui into the search field, and here it is, GSGui _68k.lha. It's 102k, and we can just click in here and we could download that all day long. Very simple program. The installation is super easy. You extract the archive and copy the drawer where you want it to go. There's no assigns to do or anything like that. So let's go ahead, I've already downloaded it, and get that set up. We're going to do LHA E GSGui _68k.lha. There we are, done. Now we can go ahead and go into our PDF folder, and there's GSGui. Let's get rid of that, make it nice and clean. Notice I didn't have to do any assigns, but we will have to do what we did with the other program with EasyGS. Single click it, go into information, GSEXE equals Ghostscript:/GS. Well, not exactly. Let's call this GSEXE equals GS870:bin/GS, just like before. Now this is going to default to a stack of 0.5 MB. If we remove these parentheses here, we could then set the stack to anything that we want to, but we'll just leave it at 0.5 MB. It should be fine. Now let's just see if this works. We're going to launch GSGui. You can see that the interface is a lot more in-depth than the one from EasyGS. We can control our resolution just like we could before. Change the number of pages we have to view, that's fine, but we have all this down here. So let's take a look at what we can do. Let's go ahead and open up a file. Let's go to my docs. We're going to go to 10 mark, episode 59, files. Here's one. This is 10 mark episode 59.pdf. I bet that's interesting. It's going to load up the multi-page document. Now here, you can see it's got 8 pages. We're going to look at page 1 through page 2. Now, if we don't do anything else, and we just have display clicked here, and we have this go button, it's going to go ahead and it's going to open up the PDF just like EasyGS does. So this is going to have the same limitation and same capabilities now in EasyGS. I can hit that space bar, it comes up with my list of commands I can use on here. I can only view one page at a time, no matter how hard I try. And the only way to go to the next page is to close down page 1 and let it open up page 2. Okay, so you can see that that works exactly the same as the EasyGS program. But what about all this other stuff right here, like use own screen? What this does is this lets you open up the viewer on a completely separate screen. So let's open up our picture again of the Compute Gazette magazine. We're going to open it up as a PDF file. We're going to tell it to use its own screen, and when we say go, in a moment after it's done processing, it will come up and ask us what type of screen we want to open it on. Okay, so here you have your choice of screens. You have a choice of all of your AGA screens. If you want to open it up in an AGA screen, that's fine. I also have a choice of opening it up on one of my Retina screens from our retargetable graphics. I'm going to choose a 24-bit 800 by 600 screen, and now it should switch over and allow us to view it on a custom screen. All right, so now we are on a completely custom screen. This is going to be useful when you're using this in AGA mode. Let's say your workbench is 640 by 480 in 32 colors, all right? But you want a nice, pretty 256 color image on your PDF. So you tell it to open on a custom screen. You choose a 640 by 480, 256 color AGA screen. Now you can look at your PDF file in pretty colors. You can also hit the space bar, but where's our little help menu? This is a weird thing. It opens up the help menu back on the main screen, which stinks because you're on this other screen, you're hitting the space bar, nothing's coming up. You don't realize it's actually opened this up on the main screen. So that's kind of lame. We'll go back here and then back to our new screen. 0 to do a resize and exit out of here. Now this is an awesome feature here, the conversion feature. We've still got our Compute Gazette PDF file here. We're going to click on Convert Settings. We're going to drop down Device, and look what we can do. We can convert it into a PDF file, which it already is, but it converts it into an older version. You can convert it into 16 million color bitmap, 256 color, 16 color, gray bitmap, mono bitmap. Look at this, we can convert it into JPEG images, PNG images, EPS files, TIFF files down here. This is really useful for being able to take your PDF files and making them into something that's useful. We're going to choose a JPEG, and then we're going to give it a destination. We're going to put it in our Docs folder. We're going to put it under Files, Episode 59, and we're going to call it Computer JPEG. I've already done this. We're going to do it again. And we're going to change this down here where it says Display. Instead, we're going to Convert. When we click Go, it is taking that PDF image of the magazine cover and converting it into a 16 million color JPEG image that we can now do anything that we want to with it. Now here it's done converting the file over. We're going to open up our file folder. New file called computer.jpg in here. Let's try and open it up and see if we can view it. We'll use AdPro, my favorite program. Universal Loader, computer.jpg. Now we're going to look at it as an 800 by 600 JPEG picture in 24-bit color. And look at that. There we go. It's now a JPEG image. And of course, like I've gone over in previous videos, we could now convert this into an IFF file and use it in any program we want to. We could do this in Personal Paint, we could do this in Grim, we could do this in AdPro. It gives us lots of capabilities of extracting information out of the PDF files into a more useful format. I think that's one of the perks of this, and that's one feature that I really hope that Matthew can put into his EasyGS program. Now let's see what else is out there. RNO PDF is created by JPV. That's what he goes by, and it is by far the fastest and most reliable PDF program for your 68K Amiga. This is his website here. I'll put the link in the description and down here, and you see he makes this for MorphOS, Amiga OS 4, Amiga OS 3, Windows, and the Mac. Just go to his website here, and you can click the AmiNet link, and it takes you over to AmiNet, and here are the files for OS 3. We'll download that and decompress it just like we do everything else. And the file is called RNO PDF, so we're going to LHAE RNO PDF _ OS3.LHA. Decompresses all that. Now when that's done, and you see that's a pretty big program, we're going to go to our PDF folder, and here's our new folder called RNO OS3. We're going to go in there. Here's a 68K version, 68K with an FPU. That's what we want. Close some of these other windows down, and here is our cute little RNO PDF program. And here is where the issues start. This is a program for retargetable graphics machines only. AGA doesn't care about. ECS doesn't mean a thing to them. Retargetable graphics only. That means if you got a Vampire, you're good to go. If you have a Big Box Amiga with a retargetable graphics card, you're good to go. Now, I understand that's a limitation for a lot of people, but if you've got the capabilities, it is absolutely worth it. Now, this does not use Ghostscript at all. This is using its own technology. Now, here's a cool thing. Let's launch our RNO PDF software. Take one of our PDF files, drag it, drop it right in the little window, and after a few seconds it'll open right up. Now this is about 5 to 6 times faster than any of the Ghostscript PDF readers, and you can see it opens the file right up. This is the tax document. Now look at some of these cool features. We can go to the next page, we can go to the previous page, we can run a search on the document, we can jump pages back and forward. So Right Amiga N goes to the next page, unlike the Ghostscript one where you could only load one page at a time and you could not go back and forth with the pages. This one works just like a regular like a Windows-based one where you can jump back and forth through the pages all you want to. That makes it very, very clever. Now you can also export the page as text, export all pages as text, export the pages as PNG files, so it's not as versatile as the Ghostscript one that could export it into anything, but PNG files are fairly useful files. You can zoom in on images. It's got different zoom levels, rotate images. It gives you some nice capabilities if you have a retargetable graphics card. And I have not seen many images at all, many PDF files at all, that this could not load. When you download this software, there's a donate button right on his website. I recommend throwing him a couple bucks. I know I did. And he will then continue to support the Amiga Classic community. RNO PDF is the one to use if you have a Vampire or if you have a high-end retargetable graphics system. It just blows all the others right out of the water. Now what about our poor OCS and ECS machines? Can they not get any love at all from the PDF community? Well, there is one program called APDF that is still available. Now, it's very old. It's from the 90s. It's based on a technology called XPDF, version, I think, 0.9. It can only open some very old PDF files. If it tries to open some of the newer ones, all I get are lockups and crashes. It just doesn't do a very good job. You can try it if you want to. You can also try, if you have a PC with a full version of Adobe Acrobat on it, you can save PDF files as older versions, like version 1.2 or 1.3 PDF files, and then APDF could open those up for you. I'm not going to go too deep into it because I honestly have had nothing but poor luck with it. So what are my final thoughts on using PDF on your Amiga? Well, if you have a retargetable graphics machine or you have a Vampire machine, get yourself RNO PDF. I'll put the link right down here again, and it'll be in the description. Pay the guy a couple of bucks, and you will be a happy camper because that PDF program works perfect. If you only have an AGA machine, go ahead and get Ghostscript. Follow the instructions I have for installing Ghostscript. Use either EasyGS, and hopefully Matthew will be updating it soon, or use GS GUI. Works perfectly great. It's going to do the job for you. Not as nice, but it'll do the job. But at least we can use them on our machines. Now, in a perfect world, the author of RNO PDF would have a version that works on AGA or ECS machines, maybe launching in its own window instead of on Workbench, and then allowing that to be used as the display. I've already reached out to him, sent him a message, and to see if he's interested in looking into that. We'll see what he says, but it's worth a try. Now, I would like to take a moment to thank my wonderful patrons on Patreon. You guys are fantastic. Here's the link to my patron page, and I happen to have a PDF file that I've created to say thank you to my wonderful patrons. Here it is. Until next time, be safe, stay at home until this whole virus thing goes past us. Telecommute on your Amiga. Now you've got all the tools you need. There's no excuse for not telecommuting on your Amiga. Like and subscribe to my channel. Share it with your friends. Follow me on Twitter at 10mark1. And you know what's coming next. Until next time, this is Doug from 10 Minute Amiga Retrocast, signing out.